Welcome back, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed the lunch break. Moving ahead with the next session, that is deepening and widening HR impact, making a difference to metrics that matter. For this, I would like to invite Ms. Sonica Aron, CEO Marching Sheep. Sonica Aron, founder and CEO of Marching Sheep, is a leading authority in diversity, equity, and inclusion and progressive HR practices. She has led interventions across 80 countries and 380 plus organizations, recognized among Forbes India's top 10 women entrepreneurs 2020 and most valued leaders 2021. Sonika also received the Gender Impact Award from American Embassy and was honored at Atmanirbhar Bharat Summit 2022. She advises prominent organizations on DEI strategy and leads impactful programs like Women at Work and Unleash. Beyond boardrooms, Sonica works with diverse communities, including acid attack survivors and transgender communities, supporting education and employment initiatives. A sought after speaker, her insights feature in leading publications such as the Times of India, Hindustan Times, and Business World. Can we have a huge round of applause for Ms. Sonica Aron?
Good afternoon, everyone. I think the applause was very thanda. Good afternoon, the lovely folks of Chennai HR. I know the morning session was a trifle too long, and then it was excellent lunch, and then the dessert. Who all had tiramisu? Can you please raise your right hand? Lamba, stretch, tiramisu, come on. Don't be shy, right hand. You know why I'm asking, sir? Very good. Okay. Those who also had gajar ka halwa can also raise their left hand. And those who also had the butterscotch ice cream, would you like to dance? No. But are you now awake? Sir, आप ही हैं बस. You are the only one, it seems. All right. So, everyone, allow me to introduce myself. I know some of you in the room, but not all of you. So it's only fair, since I'm going to be speaking to you for the next 20, and if she doesn't ring the bell, for 25 minutes. So it's only fair that I introduce myself properly. So I am the founder and CEO of a company called Marching Sheep. I founded it in the year 2013. Prior to that, I was heading HR for Philips in India. So I started as a solopreneur, and in the last 11 years, today we have more than 380 odd clients. We have delivered in more than 50 countries. We are completely industry agnostic. And we have a fairly robust team of HR professionals turned into consultants. We work in the areas of diversity and inclusion, capability building, leadership assessments, OD consulting, the works. So that's us. These are some of our clients. We are extremely proud of the fact that apart from what we do with our corporate clients, we are extremely connected with the ground. So we do a lot of work with acid attack survivors. We do a lot of work with leprosy cured people. We do a lot of work with transgenders, with people who are deaf. 82% of our clients are, come back to us. Some of our client relationships have continued since 2016, 2022. And when I share my case study, you will understand why most of our assignments tend to be long-term assignments. We have been recognized by various platforms, Forbes, Fortune, US Embassy, UN Women, and some of you might have also seen me on Mirror Now, ZTV, NDTV, because I get invited on the panel. Most of our work is grounded in research. So we have an 18-month-long research called 21 Marching, which talks about how to build organizations which are welcoming to people with disabilities. Similarly, we have research called Marching with Pride, which talks about how to build organizations welcoming to LGBTQ community. I just heard a comment while coming up on stage that what diversity means to somebody else does not mean to us. So I just want to throw open the question that what does diversity mean to all of us today? What does diversity mean in today's context? And why is it even important for organizations to think about it? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would say each individual is very unique. The social strata that they come from, the education that they come from, the life experiences one comes from, like that you can keep on going from, right? So that's diversity in itself.
Brilliant, very well said. And each one of these things that Sir said is a diversity dimension. Since morning we've been hearing about zillennials, millennials, baby boomers, Gen Y, Gen X. But tell me something, if I were to take a general definition of millennials, people born between 1980, different behavioral scientists have different definitions, jiska jo man, I mean, whoever feels like putting which year they put it. But broadly, let's take that 1980 to 1994. People born between 1980 to 1994. Someone born in 1980 would be how many years old right now? 44, 45. Somebody who is born in 1994 would be how many years now? They are all millennials. Do we think that anybody in this entire range can be bucketed into one? They all like feedback. 73% millennials like feedback. 73% millennials want X type of insurance. 73% millennials will enjoy X type of leave policy. Is that diversity? Will that help us make policies which will work for our people? I don't think so. So what does it really take for us to understand what diversity means in today's context? Why is it important? Forget the word ROI for a minute, but think about it. End of the day, what does it mean in terms of why should a CEO give us money to do diversity, inclusion, and equity? Right? So with that context, thoda heavy, I mean, it became a little heavy, so let me ask a few fun questions, okay? We are in the month of October. What do we celebrate from? The entire month of October is what? Thank you. Gandhi Jayanti, World Mental Health Day, what else? Disability Month? So you need to give me a chocolate. Huh? Huh? There is a day, yes, but what happens in the entire month globally? Global Diversity Awareness Month, in which different organizations recognize different dimensions of diversity. You know, when I started my career, very recently, I'm a zillennial, nobody was even talking about diversity, right? There was no POSH. There used to be Vishakha guidelines, but even the best of organizations were not educating their employees about Vishakha guidelines. We as women were supposed to fend for ourselves. अगर किसी ने कहीं देख लिया तो फिर अपने आप ही लड़ो. I mean, sorry, again breaking into Hindi. Are you all with me? Right? Now, then when the diversity came in, it became all about women. But today they are saying it is beyond women. Like sir said, it is life stages, it is age groups, it is traditional versus non-traditional families, it is my socio-economic strata, it is my education, it is my aspirations, it is a lot more. But do I give it consideration is the question, and that is why Global Diversity Awareness Month. When is Dyslexia Awareness Day? तारे ज़मीन पर? 8th October. Now you'll wonder, why should we know what is Dyslexia Awareness Day? Somebody from 24AI was here, or he's left? Okay, anybody here with more than 10,000 employees in their company? Has anybody come up and disclosed that they have dyslexia and the reasonable accommodations that they need to deal with it? Sorry? Just started neurodiversity. So, hidden disabilities are a part of disabled or people with disability inclusion. And therefore, it is important to know. We celebrate 8th March as Women's Day every year. Men's Day? How many of us are celebrating it? And then the question is, why do we need it? We are the majority. Any thoughts? Okay. When is International Day of Persons with Disabilities? December 3rd. Brilliant. While the entire month of June is celebrated as Pride Month, typo error, when is Pride Day? Pride Day, when it all started, when they attacked that pub, and the entire LGBTQ community inside said that they will not stand, that this happened in London, is 28th June. When is Bisexual Awareness Week? Third week of September. Neurodiversity Awareness Week. Third week of March. Now, why do you think this is important? This awareness is important. When, I've been speaking to a lot of you since morning, and many of you have large employee bases. Our employees come from the society. And if there is an estimate that a certain percentage of people from the society are living with a significant disability, a certain percentage of people in the society have invisible disability. There are a certain people in the society who belong to the LGBTQ community but are closeted, which means that with organizations with 4,000 employees, 6,000 employees, 8,000 employees, whether they have disclosed or not, they are there. The question that remains as HR practitioners is that, have we made an environment truly inclusive, enabling for them? And inclusive is not for the fun of it. Okay, I want that next award which is going to be given out in June. Or sorry, in November, there are a lot of awards happening. Right? It's not for that. It is because when people feel a sense of belonging, people feel included, people feel taken care of, your attrition will reduce, your absenteeism will reduce, your productivity will increase. This we have seen with experience, the difference between companies that have succeeded in their DEI journeys over a period of time, what has differentiated companies from those that have not succeeded? Number one, pre and post, they have tracked business targets, tangible targets, not what is the rating of your intervention, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bloom's taxonomy क्या कहती है? All this does not matter. What matters is, what were my engagement scores? What was the attrition? What was the productivity? Was there a toxic culture in my organization? How many managers were able to build a psychologically safe environment? And where am I now after 6 months? Where am I now after 1 year? What is working? What is not working? What needs to be changed? That's the first difference. The second difference is systemic and consistent efforts. Oh, we have an excellent unconscious bias online program for 1 hour. How many of us have it? I don't want raised hands, please. It's okay. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. And believe you me, does nothing. Hundreds of years of social conditioning, which has taught us gender norms, which has taught us to discriminate, which has taught us that microaggressions are cool. Making jokes about somebody being fat, making jokes about somebody being short, making jokes about a man wearing pink or purple is cool. You cannot change those behaviors with a 1 hour online course on your LMS platform. We all know it. Deep here and here, we all know it. But we still do it. So organizations that have really succeeded are those who have picked this up and said, I am going to drive this down to the last denominator in my organization, even if it takes me 1 year. But I will do it the right way. I will not do 10 things. I will do 3 initiatives. But I will make sure it leaves an impact. So strategic intent, execution plan, execution excellence. That's it. And measuring impact, whether it's working or not. That's the second difference that we have seen. The third major difference is the belief that everything in DEI costs money. Trust me, when we get involved with a client, it is starting from the diagnostic to the DEI strategy to the leadership buy-in to the implementation plan, we handhold. After that, in the implementation, the client decides what is it that they can do internally. They have the capability. What is it that they need to outsource? There is a business decision. We have to think like business. DEI has to drive business. Inclusion has to drive business, not the other way around. Are you all with me so far? Thank you. Okay. So this is what we say a lot at Marching Sheep. Inclusion starts with awareness. Inclusion starts with I. I had a video clip to show, but I'm not showing it. I think time is very short. And I must thank the speaker before me, Prakash. I don't know if you're here. Thank you so much for exchanging your slot with me. Can we please move on? The other thing is that today, just about every CEO has this one KRA, which is ESG. And within ESG, everybody is doing environment, everybody is doing governance. But what does S stand for? S is all about people. And that is where we come in. We, the HR practitioners, we who are responsible for the most valuable asset the company has. My processes will become obsolete. The moment I put a machine on the desk or in a factory, it will start depreciating. But each of my employees who stays with me, who has a sense of loyalty, who learns, who grows, appreciates every year. And when I let them go, oh, because he's a baby boomer, he or she will not be able to adjust to the technological changes. The person has become way too expensive for the role this person is in. The moment we let them go, we let go of that asset. So, okay, no video please. So one size obviously cannot fit all. So we used research on a lot of companies, more than 10,000 companies, and we realized that largely organizations and their employees fell into these 4 buckets. Depending on what is the D&I maturity level of an organization, which is on a 5-point scale, and the awareness level of employees, which can be defined on the basis of their function, it can be defined on the basis of their location, it can be defined on the basis of their education or socioeconomic strata. What is the acceptance level that they demonstrate? To give you an example, a corporate office might be very open to innovation, creativity, diversity, but maybe an interior office might not be. Okay? So from that perspective, we came up with these 4 zones, and we said that depending on which part of the organization is in which zone, our strategy will have to be tailored accordingly. And this has to be aligned with the client and the client leadership. So again, we have our own tools for diagnostics. So this is a case study I wanted to share. It was an IT industry, 18% attrition rate. There was an articulated commitment to D&I. The focus was on women and people with disabilities. And the articulated comment on PWDs was, any guesses? Less than 40% disability. Any guesses why? Why the 40% mark? So, sir, there is a concept called benchmark disability. So, 40%, there is a range. So, disability happens on a spectrum. There are people who need high assistance, high reasonable accommodation, and high support. And then there are people who have low. So, for example, if somebody has polio, I can still walk without any let's say a ramp or a wheelchair. So the organization will not have to make too many infrastructure changes for me. If I have low vision in one eye, then the organization will not have to make too many changes for me. Are you with me? And that is why the spectrum of disability. Okay. Increased workforce representation, and there were low engagement scores. So this was the articulated problem statement. It's a 2-year-old problem. So we followed our process. We said we'll start with the diagnostic. What is my current landscape? Where am I as an organization? What is my maturity? What is my acceptance? How are my policies speaking? Chup bhi rahi, she's hiding. So, where was I? Okay, so we did metrics that matter. I'm completely lost. So we actually identified where the organization was. Yes, I was talking about in one of the previous panels, a lady spoke about something very nice. I think we were talking about policies and whether they are in sync with what the industry is doing. And I loved what she said. She said, why do we need to do what the industry is doing? Why can't we be the first? Right? And I completely agreed with her. And I will give you another twist to it. The kind of employees that are there in my organization, the kind of work that they are doing, the kind of ecosystem in which they are working is known to me. Second, today employees, the newer workforce, I will not stereotype them into Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y or whatever. The newer workforce today is industry mobile. They will not say कि मैंने IT industry में start किया है तो मैं IT industry में if I have started in the IT industry, I will live and die in the IT industry. They are willing to pivot, right? So this thing which used to happen at one time, wherein we used to give companies to any of these benchmarking organizations and say, we are losing to these kind of companies and we are hiring to these kind of companies, so please do compensation benchmarking and benefits benchmarking from these companies. That doesn't hold true anymore to a very large extent, because today you need to see that if I am hiring people who are single, or if I have a large population where there are people who are sandwich generation, which means they also have children and they also have caregiving responsibilities of their parents, or if there are people who are single parents, what are my policies doing to make sure that they are able to work, they are able to grow, they are able to thrive? And hence we need to apply concepts of universal design, and we need to use design thinking to be able to meet the needs of our own people. So starting with metrics that matter, we get into the gap analysis, we come to what is it that we need to do, we create a plan, and then we create a governance model, which is track progress, quarterly, 6-monthly, annually. I'll skip this. So these were some of the things that we did with them. The first thing we did was awareness, basic sensitization. Little things like, what is person first language? Why should we not call people with disabilities differently abled and specially abled? Why is it that it is okay for women to have a place where they can nurse their child? Why is it that we need to have a place where they can? You have a question? You did this? Okay, that's fine. Why is it that they need a place where they can pump and freeze milk? So it's not just a creche, it's also a place which is like a lactation room. Why is it important? Is it a special treatment that is being given? If men also want a lactation room, be my guest. Why is it that if we want women in the leadership levels, why should we have menopause support in our wellness policy? Where is Siddharth, my friend, the storyteller? I think he's left. He spoke about well-being. Well-being today is way beyond physical well-being. It is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, financial. I was speaking to a client a few days back, and we were talking about the problem today a lot of young men are having because of hormonal imbalance, which is premature balding. And the debate was on whether support on premature balding and the treatment should be included, some kind of a reimbursement or not. And the question was that, is it cosmetic? The issue is that maybe the actual act seems cosmetic, but if the implication is where a person starts to lose confidence, that I will not be able to get married, I will not be able to find a girl will not find me attractive, and that leads to anxiety or depression, in which case it becomes a matter of concern. Where do you draw the line? Are you all with me? And that is where I think going deeper into diversity dimensions and not just looking at the top layer, but the next layer becomes very critical in today's times, because today the workforce is very vocal. Okay? So building a lot of sensitization, and this cannot happen in one session. A lot of my clients say that, Sonica, we can spare only 1 hour. Our managers are very busy. You know, we cannot take them away from the desk for more than 1 hour. Please do a session for 1 hour. It is like, you know, taking a bird and making her put the beak in water and coming out. So then we say, okay, we will do the 1 hour session, but we will do 12 1-hour sessions. Let's make it a journey. And that works. A holistic health and well-being strategy which dovetails into, what is my diverse workforce looking like? Are we meeting the needs of everybody? And the example, one of those was balding men. Look at leading indicators. I am sure everybody has a target. We want 30% women in our BPO or in our GCC or in XYZ unit. But that's a lagging indicator. What is your leading indicator? Where is my friend who wanted to do BEIs? Behavioral event interviews. I think he's left. You? Okay. So, behavioral event interviews. Behavioral event interviews are an excellent way in which we can build questions that will help us weed out any unconscious bias. How can I help managers ask my candidates questions which are linked completely to knowledge, skill, attitude and capacity to deliver? Yeah? Again, I think there is a then there is a typo error, policy revamp, toolkits and interventions. We believe in enabling our clients. We don't believe in making our clients dependent on us. So it's very important that we do train the trainers. We enable people within the organization through proper documentation, toolkits, and today people like visual toolkits, something that is quick to understand. And lastly, PWD boot camps. PWD boot camps is nothing but, I have hired a person with disability, but how do I make sure that that person settles and stays? So that is something that we help organizations with. Okay. I'll skip this. I've explained this in a lot of detail. This is the outcome that we achieved over a period of 18 months. The assignment is still going on. I haven't got the updated numbers. But we were able to bring down attrition on an annualized basis by 5 percentage points. There were some areas where the attrition reduced by more, and there were some areas where it reduced by less. We were also able to highlight which were the problem places. You know, in the absence of data, there were a lot of assumptions. The assumptions were like, people with tenure are not willing to change. People who have a traditional way of leadership are the issue. But when data came up, we actually found that is not the issue. The issue was that a lot of people who used to be individual contributors were made managers without any understanding of what it took to be a people manager. And that is where they were making huge mistakes, and that is where they were losing people. We were able to increase the representation of women not by hiring, by retention and growing. Hiring is easy. Sorry for everybody who, I know it is not easy, but what I mean is it is the easy or the shortcut way out. But creating a talent pipeline, making sure that your succession plan is diverse and balanced, and sustainably driving that, making sure that leaders are not only saying, I like these two people, so every year they should get promoted. Okay? Okay, EVP was improved, and the engagement score increased annually by 6 percentage points, which is huge. Which is really huge for an organization with more than 15,000 people. So this is what we did. And with that, I come to the end. I don't think I have time for question answers, but still, if she allows, I'm willing to answer.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sonica. To do the honors, I would like to call Mr. Satish Rajratnam from RCG Global to felicitate Ms. Sonica Aron.